Hello, and how are you? I'm stealing that from Bill Burr. This is Don't Believe Jack, the only show with Don't Believe Jack in the title. Um, I and I'm your host. How are you? How's everything going, folks? Merry Christmas, Happy Halloween, Kwanzaa. You know the drill. Vernal equinox, the other equinox, equinox gyms, big thighs, big biceps, strong butts, good squats, uh, strong calves, strong cores, engaged cores, because it's not really just about the strength, it's about whether your core is engaged, son. So we are, I've realized, I'm going to move this podcast back in the direction of silliness and fun. I realize I have another outlet. The last couple episodes have been very dramatic as I talk about philosophical things. And I have another outlet for that now. So this podcast is going to be full of sophistry and hopefully entertainment and pretension. Or pretension and unpretension. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, G? It's going to be funny voices and bullshit, is what I'm trying to tell you. So strap in for that. Get strapped. Get your gun. If you have a gun in the house, go grab it right now. Pause. You can pause the podcast. You can go and grab that strap and come back. I don't know why they call it a strap, because it's definitely it's a little bit more than a strap. It's a gun. I don't know where I had to ask I had to ask an African American friend of mine. I love that I can say that. I asked an African American chap I know. I could say that as a black person because of the diaspora, the diaspora. Diaspora sounds like a cologne that is dispersed globally. Through the mechanisms of colonialism. Yeah, baby. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Before we were merely conversing. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. We're talking with Christopher Walken. Okay, so killed about 2 minutes. Okay, this is gonna be like the old school podcast where we actually get stuff moving. Baby, moving, baby. Yeah. I hope you had a nice time. Halloween was yesterday, which is interesting. I did not do anything for Halloween because I am a Grinch, so I'm saving up for Christmas. To be a Grinch. And I haven't done any Halloween stuff, God, in years. Halloween's great when you're a kid. I don't know. I think it's sort of overrated as an adult, personally. I went to a Halloween party, I don't know, a couple years ago was the last time I went to a Halloween party, and I was like, this is okay. This is not really anything special. Um, I dressed up in a costume, and everyone was asking me whether, I dressed up, I just got like little fake guns and dressed up as a cowboy. Of course, these little plastic guns and this little bandolier of like bullets cost like $50, and I was like, fuck Halloween. This is ridiculous. Okay? Like, this isn't like getting married. Okay? That's the one time for an event. Everyone will rip you off. Everyone. Everyone will rip you off. But otherwise, no. You look ridiculous with a costume on. I don't know. I'm not really a big costume person. But when you're a kid, costumes are great when you're a kid. I totally get that. It's great. I looked at pictures of my nieces and my nieces and my nephew, and they were dressed up in all these costumes. And then there was also like a photo of all the kids together in class. And I think it was just funny because you could see some kids in the corner who were like dressed up as like Spider-Man, and they don't really get what's going on. Or like a kid who's dressed up as like a bear, and he doesn't like he has no idea. Like from his perspective, he's like, okay, this is new, but I'm gonna go along with it, and I'm gonna clap my hands because everyone around me is smiling. and they seem really happy. They seem really, really happy about me, being in this costume. So I'm running around. I'm basically, this is like every day for me. It's a bunch of, uh, using my imagination, right? Using my imagination every day because that's what I do as a kid. That's all I do. So okay, now my adults are in on it. Okay, cool, and they give me candy for it. Excellent. Why can't we do this every day? Every day of the year. Why can't we just get candy? I remember my brother and I like we would like we were like our parents would not buy us candy. I think for a combination of factors having to do with being short on funds and also being short on funds. And by that I mean being short on funds to get candy, and then also not wanting our teeth to rot, so they'd have to spend money on expensive dental care. But my parents, I will say that like combined with the concerns and anxiety about money, they also did recognize that Halloween was free candy, and they do love free things. So in that sense, they were very, very supportive of it, and they would drive us around. We actually would choose high density neighborhoods we didn't even live in. We just get in the car. Admittedly, we were trick or treating with our cousins who lived in Arlington, right? And so it wasn't total bullshit, but it was sort of bullshit. Like we were like, yeah, we're gonna go to this like high traffic area, and we're just gonna take candy out of this. We're gonna take candy out of this community, this closely knit, intimate, densely packed community in Arlington of townhomes. We're just gonna hit it up. Kids they've never seen before. Get the fuck out of here, kid. That's what they should have said to us. They should. They should have asked what our address was. God, these people so generous and so kind, and we just, oh boy, we just took advantage. We just took advantage, and man, oh, it was it was not fair. It's just we should have had to have our addresses on us. I think I wore the same. Some years I think I barely had a costume because our parents were not spending the money. So I was like dressing up as a medieval knight, using construction paper to make armor, like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like I was in like it was like Little House on the Prairie, and I was sewing my own clothes. It was just it was funny. My costumes were terrible, not high end, not fancy at all. It's funny. I saw like a picture of LeBron. I was like, fuck LeBron James, man. Come on. He had like he dressed up as Edward Scissorhands, and he got it right. But I was like, motherfucker, you're rich. You're rich. Like his costume was so just detailed. I mean, it was like legit. I think it might have actually said on the side, "This is from the Edward Scissorhands set." Like I think he might have just leased it from Johnny Depp. He might have, kicked Johnny Depp a few bottles of wine because, Johnny's a big boozo, and also has tons of money problems. So, like, it's fine. But man, oh man, it was ridiculous. It was just incredible. It was such a nice. I mean, I'm pretty sure Tim Burton was there to sign off on it. Like they gave Tim Burton a clipboard, and he released it. It came directly from like Universal Studios or Paramount or whoever made that film, and that's who he dressed up as. Oh man, it's funny. I will say that it was a nice. If you're gonna go like emo and you're gonna have this costume that's all black, being a brown person, it really actually sort of heightens the effect. It was just funny because it's like LeBron's dressing up as like a goth, but he's not a white person, so it's just like I remember looking at it and just like my brain couldn't process it. You know what I mean? It was like it's like when you find out like some guy's killing it as a wide receiver and you find out he's white and you're like, what? That's what it is like when you see a black person who's emo. It's just like, what? And I say that as a dude who went to multiple Ozfests, but admittedly I had combat boots, of course. Who didn't? Who didn't? It was the mid '90s. Okay, it was the mid '90s. School shootings were just getting started. Oh god. Uh, the darkness. So okay, we're at 10 minutes. We're gonna keep going. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, you wore combat boots and you scared your parents, and everyone was concerned. People were double concerned. I think personally, if, as being a black kid in the suburbs wearing combat boots, I think those canceled each other out, and they were just like, oh, okay, well this kid's actually just he's pretty relatable, you know. I had of course was not going to get Doc Martens. Those shits were expensive. I think I just got some. Literally, I just got some boots from like an army surplus store. My God, the years, and the time I wasted listening. Actually, the music I have to say is pretty solid. One of the best concerts I still have seen was System of a Down, probably in I think 1995 at Ozfest, and they were incredible. And Serge Tarkani, he's got a beautiful voice. I don't know what he's up to now. I hope he's doing voiceovers. He should be doing like yogurt commercials, not like oh no no no. That's how he sings. If you ever listen to System of a Down, you know, like someone would eat yogurt, like there'd be like a person in the suburbs like unwrapping a yogurt and then serving it to their baby, and he's like, "It's so tasty in your mouth." Yeah, that's like just like that hardcore rock, like that actually just sounds like an old man. An old man sleeping. Just an old man wheezing. I think that's the inspiration for metal, which is hella metal. If you think about it, it's all grunged out. Okay, yeah, but just the kids are adorable, and they just have these big smiles on their faces, wearing these Halloween costumes, being emo. I hope LeBron actually. I think LeBron's costume was actually not Edward Scissorhands. It was actually Johnny Depp. That was his true costume. He was dressing up as an eccentric actor, because he's the exact opposite. He's the corny dad. He's a dad joke machine. Like Antonio Brown like has a team of influencers who help him with his social media profile. I think LeBron just he like has a whole posse of guys wearing pleated Dockers, pleated brown or olive Dockers, and they drive sensible cars. Maybe a Lexus, you know, they're doing well. Most likely a Honda, and I have to say, as a Honda person, as a person who doesn't want to drive anything, I think like I can top out on a Prius, and I'm just living my best life personally. I dig it. Love a de Prius. Love a de Prius. Loving the Prius. Live in the Prius. Love in the Prius. Okay, that's enough praise music. Okay, we're gonna get to gospel later. Okay, I don't want to shoot my load too quick. Okay, so but yeah, like LeBron, everything LeBron does is dad influenced. And admittedly, he looked like he was a dad when he was 16. So I think that's and now his hairline is finally catching up with his lifestyle. But man, he's just so funny. Like, you know, I mean, like, he's the guy who will yell into a camera, "It's a Taco Tuesday!" Like, just so corny. Just so corny on so many levels. But it's fun, you know. I mean, you know, I guess it must be nice. It must be interesting to raise children. You know, Halloween costumes and whatnot. Anyways, yeah, so Halloween probably I mean, you know, Thanksgiving to me is the greatest holiday. Halloween is probably a close second. Obviously, I don't really eat a lot of candy now. Also, the other thing is, like, I realized, like, my brother and I would be so proud. We'd be like, oh man, we would we loved candy and loved free stuff so much. Shout out to mom and dad, love you. Shout out to Vietnam and Cameroon. That we would actually swap out bags mid trick or treating. Like, in other words, we would drop off bags, plastic bags. Of course, because we also didn't, canvas bags weren't a thing back then, okay? It was the 90s. We were trying to actively destroy the environment. Look, like, if I could describe the 90s, like, at its core, it's basically, like, throwing a battery into a fire while recycling a bottle conscientiously because I'm concerned about the future, letting Freon also leak at the same time while Bill Clinton plays the saxophone on the Tonight Show in the background on television. That's the 90s at its core. Oh, and also you've got pants that are giant. Like you have like wide leg pants. You have JNCOs, basically. If you have skinny jeans on, everyone is convinced you're gay. Because and of course it was the 90s, so being gay was still controversial. So yeah, that's the 90s at its core. My brother and I would swap out plastic bags, because you could still get those. Okay, remember that. I know you can't get them now. They're like plastic bags are like contraband now. The only people who are allowed to have them are Chinese takeout restaurants. For some reason, they were able to get a carve out in California, so they could still use those plastic bags. And God bless them. Okay. Thank God those Chinese restaurants have kept America America. You know what I'm saying? America first, but also dinner first. Um, so my brother and I would like swap out the bags. We would actually like take these bags and be heavy, heavy. Like so heavy. When like a plastic bag is like so heavy with contraband that like the plastic actually sort of thins out and starts to actually stretch, and you have to actually start supporting a plastic bag from the bottom because the grip will break or has broken, and you're carrying it from the bottom. You're scooping it like a baby. You're holding it to your chest like you're breastfeeding. You're trying to keep all this candy warm. All these Mike and Ikes, if they get cold, they'll die. Okay, they need warmth. I have to swaddle it with my toga. Oh God, and like the bag is so heavy. Like all the if you have like any kind of like pops, like any kind of like the candy on a stick, like the sticks are actually poking through the bag, which is also like weakening the bag's integrity. That's why you actually, like my brother and I go, when we got really good at it, we would actually double or triple bag our candy bags, our candy sacks, so we could haul it around and it wouldn't break. Had multiple layers of protection. This sounds like a Trojan ad. Oh my God. Sounds like a condom ad. Multiple layers of protection. Locked and loaded. Anyways, we would take these bags, we'd call our parents and call our mom, and we would actually hand the bag, put it in the car, and then we would get new bags. Like we were fucking Navy SEALs on a mission for candy. Oh boy, oh, it's so wonderful, so wonderful. And then we'd go out and get more candy, and then we would take it home, and for some reason we would like inventory it. I think mostly, technically, because our parents were like, okay, you can't eat this all tonight. You will die. You will die, and we can't have that. You're supposed to be a doctor, okay? Like, we can't have you die yet. You haven't given us anything to brag about. So, you haven't given us anything to brag about. Anyways, too real. So our costumes were so terrible. Seriously, I think it literally in most cases it was me taking construction paper and drawing on, and then using like twine to string something together. Oh boy, these were very homespun. I think I might have gotten extra candy just out of pity from the good people. But anyways, it was just so exciting to get candy, and I thought it was like the coolest thing. And it's really funny now because like at some point in my 20s, I realized I was like, oh, bro, wait, you can go to a store and you can spend $3 and you can get like 3 pounds of Sour Patch Kids for like $3. And like, that's it. Like, I was just like, oh, candy's not actually exciting when you have money. Like many things, like in some ways, the gift and the curse, like money itself. I don't know, like life itself. I don't know. Maybe the excitement, it changes when you realize you can just purchase things. It's like that things are no longer a struggle. It's a big relief, but in some ways, it creates a burden of ennui. You know what I'm saying? Le ennui, the sadness. The sadness, you know what I'm talking about? Colonialism worked well when they actually just came up with a term for just being bored. You know what I mean? Like, they were just like, we have won. The French, we have won so hard that now, when you are comfortably middle class, you are just bored. It's so difficult. So difficult to be comfortable. It is unbearable. For life to be bearable. Let's create a word for it. Oh, ennui. Okay. It's sort of funny to think they call it a French kiss. I'm like, did they really invent that? Like no one else used tongue. I could. I mean, if you talk about like British kissing, yeah, I can imagine them not using the tongue at all. I can imagine them being very, very non-tonguey in their activity, like severely non-tonguey. Non-tonguey. That's a real word. That's a real word, y'all. That's good stuff. That's fun. Yeah. Anyways, yes. The tongue. The tongue. That is what will make my life bearably unbearable. Again. It's actually I realize I'm talking as Antonio Banderas doing the accent of a Frenchman. Yes. That is me. I am French. No, but I am a Spaniard underneath all of that. Oh boy. The candy in your mouth. Thank you. And that was a PSA for Halloween from System of a Down. There are also wildfires going on in this great state of ours, which is crazy, but not really that crazy. You know what I mean? I think I saw this amazing Onion article that was just talking about how like the fires are like tech companies want to meet with the fires because they're growing so quickly and being disruptive. And it was just such a funny headline. I really loved it. I loved it. Just made fun of all the venture capitalist stuff. So hard. The fires, though. My parents are like, it's funny, like people, I do appreciate that people do care. You know what I mean? Even though, like, that's weird for me sometimes, right? Like, I get embarrassed that people care. But, like, let's be honest, at the end of the day, it's nice that people care about you. But it's funny because, oh man, I must be tired or something. Or relaxed. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like basically, like everyone calls about the fires, right? Like people have been texting me, like, "Hey, are you doing okay with the fires out there?" And it's just like, bro, these fires. I don't know. Maybe it's just normal for me now. But I'm like, these fires are like 12 miles away from me. They're like, like I literally told mom, I was like, look, this fire is like 12 miles away. Okay. Like for it to get to me, if it takes the 405 to like Santa Monica, I mean that's like 45 minutes in good traffic. During rush hour, that fire takes like an hour and a half to get to me. An hour and a fucking half. Can you believe this goddamn traffic? The fire is still probably my second concern in LA. I probably like homelessness comes before that, maybe traffic. Third, state of my career. And then fourth, the fires. Like the fires are like a moderate concern for like everybody. Even the firefighters. Even the firefighters, not that concerned about they're more concerned about their record deal. Uh, or where they got cast in that movie. That's their concern, not the fires. Not the fire. Not the fires. Not so much. I don't think that's as big a concern. That's all I'm trying to say. Not as big a concern. I'm looking at my belly thinking about candy. Thinking about candy. Um anyways, that was not meant to be sexual. So fires the fires are, yeah, I mean, they're not that big of a deal. They're over by the Getty. Um all the smoke goes to the beach communities. They're the ones getting fucked. I over here nothing's happening. The only thing that's blowing up in Los Feliz are people's careers. People's dreams are blowing up, or their careers are blowing up. One or the other, not both. Or maybe both at the same time. That's when you get what you want, but then it turns out that what you wanted wasn't what you needed. I believe that is called by my friend ennui. 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 Okay, anyways, yeah, the fires, they're super far away. I could give two shits about them. Okay? I mean, yeah, the Getty's a beautiful museum. I don't want it to get destroyed, but I'm sure it has some kind of thing where like, I mean, that museum costs a good $1 jillion. I'm sure they have like some super dome that like some kind of like bubble that encases the whole facility. I don't even know how a building like that catches fire. I mean, it's made of like metal and I mean, like what? How's it gonna catch fire? I just don't see it. There are houses up there that could catch fire, but I'm like, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I would just tell my mom this. Like, it's a bunch, like, it's a rich neighborhood. I mean, that's not to say that like I don't feel bad that people have to leave their homes, but like, they're not fucked, okay? Like, they have like money. Like they can go stay somewhere. They clearly are connected outside of their local community. They can go stay with someone in Calabasas, right? Or go rent a place, or go to their second home. I don't know, in like Ojai, or like Palm Desert. Like they can go somewhere. They don't have to be stuck. They aren't stuck. You know what I mean? They aren't stuck. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that as like a communist. In fact, if anything, I've become less of a communist over the last, like 2 years. But I'm just saying, like, it's not the worst tragedy in the world. It's just bad. You know what I mean? Like, people who can afford to be displaced. No one's died. No loss of life. I mean, again, it's not great, but it's not terrible. I mean, maybe that sounds like fucking callous of me to say, but like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, as long as these fires aren't catching people in the middle of the night and they're dying, like, it's, it is what it is. Like if a house burns down in Malibu, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I worked on a show. One of the writers, like, his house burned down. And I mean, look, that sucks. But it's not like his family died, right? Like, and it's not stuff that can't be recovered, right? And he still has a great job, and this homeboy lives in Malibu. Like, it's okay, I mean, there are areas where it's a problem. Like, there's another coworker of mine at work who, like, he lives in an area that actually they're pulling fire insurance. Like, they're no longer insuring it. I was like, okay, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's a rough situation. But like, I don't know. I mean, look, natural disasters aren't great, but like on the scale of things, it's not like it's happening in like a working class neighborhood. And I'm not just saying that as like someone who's like a liberal. I'm just saying that as like a pragmatic person. Like, yeah, they're fighting this. It's in a remote area. So some people have been displaced, but not like a ton of people. Because again, it's remote. These houses are a little, sparsely dispersed in this area. But, and these fires, like, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm not inhaling a bunch of the smoke, and if I'm not inhaling a bunch of the smoke, and like it's not gonna come, like the fire's not gonna sneak up on me in the middle of the night. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. Now, like there was a fire that was like over in Burbank, and I was like, shit. Well, that's like I don't know, like 5 miles away, and the smoke. I'm downwind of the smoke. I was like, this ain't good. This ain't good. This ain't good. This no good. But I don't know. I mean, I don't even. This is not funny. I need to move on. The fires. Yeah, it's just it's all good. But it's funny. Like people just get all sorts of worried about the fires. I'm just like, nah, man. The traffic. Traffic is what is concerning. The traffic is my concern. Um, there was a guy, man. It was crazy this week. Like the 101 was backed up because this dude was on a bridge, and I think he wanted to jump, and they had to like talk him down and stuff, and it was just crazy. And it's terrible to say this, but I thought I was just like, man, like all these people, their days have gotten backed up. Like, how much time is that? Is that time? Like the collective time that everyone got boned on this, is that more than this guy's entire lifetime? And I'm like, yeah, probably. I was like, what would a utilitarian do? Just dark. Just go for it. Just go for it. Let's keep the traffic moving, okay? Anything to keep the traffic moving. The wheels of progress must turn over your brittle bones. Your brittle bones. Your brittle bones. Your brittle bones. I'm Vincent Price. Um, your brittle bones. The traffic must move. The spice must flow. Shout out to Dune, George Herbert, Scientology. It's your boy, Serge Tarkanian. Okay. Best places to work. I've been in the course of doing some work, a special project that I'm working on. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and I'm seeing a list of the best places to work. There was this one company, tech company, that touted itself as like on the top 20 best places to work in Cleveland, according to the local Clevelander magazine, or the Clevelandish, the Clevander, Holyfield. That's what I would, Clevander Holyfield. Oof, great name. For an account, for like an Instagram account, or IG for you people below the age of 25. Um, I saw the list of best places to work in Cleveland. I was just like, top 20. There are only 20 jobs in Cleveland. Not 20 employers, 20 jobs. Like, it can't be that hard to make that list in Cleveland, okay? Like, San Francisco, yeah, it's probably pretty difficult to be in the top 20. I don't even know. Like, I mean, there's so many small companies that you don't know that could be just fucking awesome. Awesome, okay? Just wicked cool places to work. Wicked cool places to work, okay? Just the shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? And and they're not even on the list, you know. But anyways, this place made the top 20 places to work. I don't even know how they score that. Ugh. So it's like that JD Power and Associate bullshit. Very suspicious. I think JD Power and Associate, that's a wing. That's got to be a wing of the Illuminati. JD and Power and Associates, like they have Geronimo's skull. Okay, like that's how evil this shit is. They're part of a conspiracy. They hang out with Lil Wayne because they're all part of the Illuminati together. Okay, and like the founding fathers didn't die. They're in a bunker somewhere, deciding things. Anyways, so yeah, Cleveland, beautiful Cleveland. I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. Cleveland, it's got to be hard to live in Cleveland. Okay, like LeBron left you 2 times. LeBron broke up with you, the greatest basketball player, one of the greatest athletes of his generation, up there with Roger Federer. How many Irvs on his name? Federer. I feel like a dog decided on his last name or something. My brains are turning to mush, okay? Forgive me. Yeah, LeBron left you 2 times. Like, that's gotta be difficult. You know what I feel like? Like, LeBron came back and it was like, hey, mama, he returned home. He returned. We're getting back together. And then, like, a couple years later, right? Like LeBron moves back in. And then a couple years later, like Cleveland's calling his mama again, like, "Oh, mama, he's been out of town lately. He's been seen with Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York City. I don't think I can keep up." And then he just left. So heartbreaking. LeBron, the king. Or as known, Edward Scissorhands, as he's known in alternate circles. The Browns, like the Cleveland, they have the Browns. The Browns are a losing organization. I'm sorry to tell you. I think you could take the entire staff of the Patriots, including like player, personnel, strength trainer, like the guys who like stretch people's legs, the coaches. You could take Tom Brady. You could even take the ownership. You could take Robert Handjob Kraft, Handjob in Florida Kraft, and you could take all the Kraft cheese, Mr. Kraft cheese, and Bill Belichick. You could take all of them, the holy triumvirate that rules over New England. You could take all of them to Cleveland, and if you called them the Browns, they would have a losing season. There's something in the water that makes it terrible over there. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. That's the thing. Like the Browns could be the most virtuous organization and they will lose, and the Patriots can be the dirtiest organization and they will just kill it. Oh boy, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. Cleveland can win nothing. Speaking of which, speaking of winning, God damn it, I have not even talked about the Nationals. The Nationals won the World Series. I did not watch the regular season. I have been to Nationals games. The ballpark is beautiful. They lost all their games there. That was amazing that like both teams, they lost all their home games. Unreal. Unfucking real. But I'm glad it worked out that way. Turns out a home field advantage is a bitch. I guess it's more pressure or something. But the Nationals did win. Which is a win for America, because let's be honest, it's baseball's Patriots. That makes no sense. Trust me. But yeah, I mean, it was just I have to say honestly, I did not give a crap about the regular baseball season because it's way too many games. I get it. Like, if you're like old and you have nothing to do, yeah, ball games are great. I probably, like when I can't walk, yeah, I'm gonna watch a shitload of sports. That seems like a good idea. Or like watch all these movies that that I've been putting off watching. But your boy doesn't want to watch like 100, what is it, like 250 baseball games. But I did actually. It was really funny. I mean, I sort of kept track throughout the season where the Nats were. I saw that they were. I didn't know that they made the playoffs. I knew that they were not leading in their division or whatever. But I didn't even know that they made the wild card game because I didn't. Even though I like watching the wild card game, even though I don't really care about baseball, I like high stakes situations. I like high stakes situations. I sound like a terrorist, but I like them. They make my grundle tingle. But yeah, there's something so I didn't even realize until I went to like an open mic, caught up with some friends, and I saw that they had on Game 5 between the Dodgers and the Nationals, and the Nationals basically squeaked out like that. Once I saw the Nationals were in it, and it was Game 5 of a 5-game series, which mathematics tells me is the last game in that series. I did read. I am educated, and I just watched the game, and I was like, "Ooh, what's going on here?" And the tension was huge tension. And then it was like bases loaded, and Howie Kendrick hits a grand slam, and I was like, motherfucker, baseball, I love you, even though I don't really understand you. You know what I mean? I love you, but I don't understand you. And it's just to see them go across, to be in Los Angeles, to see all these local Dodgers fans have their hearts broken, and to know that my team was responsible was so satisfying. I was like, oh, this is what sports is about. It's about not doing anything, being able to brag and stunt. When people pass by, I almost wanted to be a dick, and I almost would be like, how about them Dodgers? Like, because there was something inside me, and I was like, I have to keep my mouth shut because Dodgers fans are known to harm people. Like bros, there was like a Giants fan who got attacked in the Dodgers parking lot and suffered like severe brain damage. And I was like, I can't fuck with these people. You know what I mean? I can't fuck with these Dodgers fans. They are way violent, especially the Cholos, man. They are violent, bro. So I couldn't say anything, but I wanted to, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Sports is about being a dick. Just as Robert Kraft. But yeah, it was satisfying, and then so I followed it ever since. You know what I mean? Like I was watching a lot of the games. Uh, I was watching a ton of games, keeping track of stuff, looking at scores. You know, when I got a chance, I'd watch a few innings. I could not watch a whole game. It was just way too brutal. And also, I have a lot of stuff going on in the evenings, so I was able to catch like patches of games, but not the whole joints. But it was fun, you know. Like baseball is fun to watch. It really does. It is a real like nutsack tightener, as they say. They actually say that like people's nutsacks actually like tighten up when they watch sports because like it's part of like tension. It's like we're gonna pull in. This is not a relaxed situation. That's part of the fun of watching sports. I mean, honestly, that's most of the fun. Is like that uncertainty. But also like I can be relaxed but uncertain. You know, it's not like I'm running a business and this shit could fail, so I have to be on my toes. Like it's not under my control, but I'm invested. Anyways, okay, too much sociology, not enough jokes. That's boring. But anyways, it was amazing that they won. I had to run out. I could not catch the rest of the game. Like of Game 7. Because I had to run out for something. But when I looked up the score, I could not believe that they came from behind. Because I saw it was 2-0, and I was like, okay, I know how this ends. And my homeboy, who knows a lot about baseball, because he's a Yankees fan who grew up in the Bronx and has broken that shit down for me, he was like, look, I think the Astros are going to take it. Because, yeah, remember, at one point, the Yankees were up in the series. They were up in the series on the Astros, and the Astros just came back and just kicked their ass. And I was like, fucking... the Nats win 2 games. Then, then the Astros win the next fucking 3. And then the Nats win Game 6. And then win Game 7. I was like, oh, wow. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's crazy what's happening. I joke that, it's like, look, like the Capitals finally won last year, and the Nats won this year, and the Redskins, they're going to win next year. And and it's totally not true, because the Redskins are just crap. They're a dysfunctional organization. Oh, so bad. I feel like the Redskins are so bad, they could learn something from the Trump administration. That's how dysfunctional they are relative to everything else. Speaking of the Trump administration, I also wanted to talk about Jesus is King. I can't listen to it. I can handle like Kanye's Jesus is King. I can handle a MAGA hat, but I have a lot of concerns about gospel. A lot of concerns about gospel. But I will say I almost want to defend Jesus is King because man, there's such a backlash against Kanye and a backlash against friggin' Dave Chappelle that like even among black people, I don't get it. Like I was reading these, I didn't read the articles because I was like, I'm not gonna fall for this motherfucking clickbait, yo. But there were these articles in like on The Root, which is like like a website about like black stuff, and they're like it's like political and like woke and shit. And there were two headlines in articles, and I didn't click on either of them, but it said all the wrong people like Dave Chappelle's new special, and like all the wrong people like Jesus is King. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Are we hipsters? Like all the wrong people like this, so we can't like this. What do you? It just it sounds. I feel like maybe black people have made it because now we're friggin' snobs. We're like white kids that go to liberal arts colleges. You know what I mean? We've made it. Like all the wrong people like these things. It's not right. I'm like, ugh, yuck. This is what the blogosphere has done. It really bothered me. It really, really bothered me. I was like, what is this? Why are you talking this way? All the wrong people like this, so we can't like this. Ugh. That wokeness. Oof. Oof. I feel like intersectionality and wokeness and being vegan, these are all ways of like making yourself a minority. Or it's like becoming a double minority. You know what I mean? Like if you're a minority and you're vegan, it's like you're a double minority. So you can be twice as self-righteous. It's like it's weird. It's funny like when people who are like vegan, like they talk like they're going through like a civil rights struggle. You know what I mean? They're like, we shall overcome. And it's like, what do you have to overcome? Lactose intolerance? God damn it, I hate you. I don't hate you being vegan, but like I hate you treating it like it's the pressing issue of our times. It's like, no. There are many more pressing issues, like traffic. I would even put veganism, I would put like eating animals behind the fires. That's how low I rank it. So yeah, but I can't. I've tried listening to the Jesus is King album, and it's like it's too gospel-y for me. You know, like Ultralight Beam is probably the furthest I can go with that. Or like Waves Don't Die, that's great. But like Jesus is King, it's a little bit much. It's a little on the nose. Okay, can't you be a little bit more subtle? And I don't know, man. Gospel is just like, it's a little like gospel's a little corny to me at times. I don't know. Like it can be really really beautiful, but like a lot of times it feels like really pretentious. And also, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I associate like gospel with a lot of black churches that exploit people. That's just like in other words, like I associate like gospel with you know like con artistry. So I don't know, not just Kanye artistry, con artistry. For keeping it real. You know, like I think about like gospel. I mean, gospel is music, cool, but like the holier than thou shit. Ugh, that's just as bad as the root. and I just I don't know. And it's just it's too polished. It's too like gospel's like very like produced. Like gospel feels. It's like gospel's a little bit like it can be too insular. You know what I mean? Like gospel's like it's only those people in their little community and no one from outside, so they become very extreme. Like gospel's like inbred. You know what I mean? Like in the same way that like country can sometimes be like very like inbred. Like it just concentrates itself. And like it becomes this echo chamber where like everything is like overdone. That's a little bit of my take. Like there was like a video from this guy was TK Kirkland, who's like this great gospel artist, and he had this video and it was him complaining about like the fact that he was on the Christian Broadcasting Network and he gave this very like woke he gave this speech about how like there's too much like police brutality against African Americans. Which is funny, like too much. He's like, there's a right amount of brutality against African Americans, but we are not at that point. We need to dilute this a little bit more. Too much. There is a right amount though, and let's actually work it out. No, he didn't say that, but I'm just saying that to be ridiculous. I want you to know that a lot of the stuff I say on here I don't mean, okay? I'm just saying this shit to be funny, okay? I'm just saying it to be entertaining and have a good time. But yeah, I mean, like he just gave this speech, and you know he was even talking about like something that I am concerned about, right? Like what's the representation in the media, and our voices being suppressed because it goes against certain people's commercial interests. And so I get his concern. But like the way he talked was like he talked as a preacher, and his shirt was like super tight on him. It was a black shirt, super tight, top buttoned like he was a missionary. And a missionary, he was like a missionary, but also like an embalmer. You know what I mean? Like wearing a black shirt that was like shiny. And I was like, Jesus, he's like a missionary to the land of the dead. He goes over the river Styx. Like and he just was so, like, everything about him was like so polished. Like his face was overproduced. It was like moisturized. I think he took a break in the middle of his complaints to like get his face moisturized by his team, and he was just standing there all like firm and proud. Like it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable in the same way that like some of those dudes who went to like HBCUs and they take themselves like way too seriously, like that kind of like sternness, like and like I'm superior. But yeah, he was just like, and it was funny because like I agreed with his message, but I was like, this is making me uncomfortable because like a homeboy, you're like way too like he's like Tulsi Gabbard, you know what I mean? Like if you see Tulsi Gabbard in a debate, she talks like she's like fucking Captain America, you know what I mean? She's like, I am waging war against the evil empire. For far too long, my fellow Americans have been like this. And it's just like that kind of like earnestness is a little off-putting. Like you're like, did she get hit in the head with something? I don't know. Like she's on her own wave, which is cool. I mean, but like that kind of earnestness. I mean, look, it's fine, but it is unusual. So I'm always a little like, whoa, what's going on over here? What the hell is that? And that's a question. It's a question for me that I ask myself. So anyways, yeah, I mean that's pretty much that's what's doing. That's what's doing, yo. But like Tulsi Gabbard, she really, I swear to God, she's got to be the successor to Captain America, because like she is just like so like firm and stoic in the way like she talks and addresses the camera, like, you know what I mean? Like I stand at attention when I hear her speak, and that's how I felt about like TK Kirkland as well. Like he just was like. And I get it. Like maybe it's just like when you spend enough time in the gospel community and around churches, like there's like a certain way you talk. But man, it's a little bit much for me. I don't understand it. It is strange to me. So anyways, yeah, that's what else is going on? It was really funny. I was being silly, and someone said to me this week. They said, "Oh, you're gonna make such a good dad," and I was like, "No, like that's funny. It's funny like that the criteria for being a dad is just being silly. Like that's the criteria for making you a good dad." I just think it's so funny that like that's what you need. Are you silly? Okay, then you're going to be a great father. Expectations of men are so low on being a parent. Like being a mom is like you got to be like are you loving? Are you caring? Are you too focused on your career? Are you not focused on your career enough? Do you cook good meals? Do you know about nutrition? Like it's like, Dad, like do you make funny faces and talk in funny voices sometimes? You're going to be a great dad. Booyah. It's man, oh God, it's pretty easy to be a dude, I have to say, standards so low, so low. It's embarrassing how low they are. They go through the floor. Y'all. Anyways, yeah, so that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it's just funny because, like, there are lots of ways to be a bad dad, right? You can be like the egomaniac. You can be the rageaholic. You can be like, well, the family is meant to reflect me. You can be selfish, but like, no one considers that. You have to be reliable, you have to have a good job, you have to be compassionate, you can't be emotionally distant, but like just being silly, everyone's like, oh, you'll make a great father. Man, that shit is hard when I see it. I hear about it. I try to stay away, you know? Shit sounds hard. Dog. Dog. And the last thing I want to talk about was I was talking about like how the fashion business is like a huge business. I was thinking about it, like why does fashion make so much money? Like Kanye, Jesus, Mr. Jesus is King, Mr. Mega Bomber himself, Kanye West, Lord of the flies, by which I mean the flyness. Um, Jaboy, he is so like he made more money off of fashion than music. That's how big fashion is. Like Supreme and shit, that stuff is like is enormous. And I realized I was thinking about it, I was like, why is fashion such a big business? And I realized like, well, don't think about it as the fashion business. Think about it as the not getting your ass kicked in middle and high school business, right? Like the fitting in into the corporate hierarchy business. And then I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That's why fashion's a big business. You know what I mean? It's like how defense attorneys make a bunch of money. It's like how much will you spend to not be in prison? Oh, all of it, all of it. I'll spend all of it to not to not be someone's punk in a penitentiary, you know, and not have to smoke drugs that are smuggled in through someone's butt cheeks to be able to psychologically deal with being in a cage funded by the state government, funded poorly, by the way. I have to get set tattoos and join a gang of my racial affiliation. Otherwise, I risk being being raped. It's like yeah, a defense attorney is worth all the money you spend for it. I think same thing with Jordans apparently. Like Jordans, yeah, you should spend as much money as you can on them because they will keep you from being humiliated and having a psychological complex. So just think about it as a prepay on therapy. Anyways, that is the show. I hope you had a good time. I sure did. I'll catch you later. Peace.